Welcome back, everybody. We've been talking all about the news of the day that Kamala Harris chose Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate. We have much more on that for you as Judicial Watch is investigating, and joining the show now is Chris Farrell, who serves as Judicial Watch's Director for Investigations and Research. Great to see you, Chris. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me on. It's always fun.
Yeah. You know, we are learning more and more about Tim Walz. It makes me wonder if Kamala Harris doesn't have a red team to do oppo research. What do you think are some of the most troubling aspects of his career?
Well, you know, I'm a former Army officer, so whenever I have somebody running around pretending to be and to do things that they have not, it really irritates me. So this is sort of a stolen valor situation here, where Walz has been running around pretending to be a retired command sergeant major, which is the senior most enlisted rank that a soldier can achieve. And he's not. He's a retired master sergeant. And I'm not, you know, disrespecting master sergeants. That isn't the point. The point is he's lying about being a retired command sergeant major. And he's a guy that bailed out on his unit, a field artillery unit from the Minnesota National Guard, when they were ready to deploy to Iraq. And so there's a lot of guys, and it doesn't take much effort. It doesn't take a whole lot of Googling to figure out there's a lot of guys in the military, particularly Minnesota National Guardsmen and reservists, who know about his very checkered past and how he repeatedly misrepresents his rank, his service, and what he did with his National Guard unit. It's really, it goes to his character. I mean, if you're going to lie about that kind of stuff and you're going to bail out on your unit just before they deploy, that talks, at least in my mind, it speaks volumes about his character.
Yeah, and Chris, you're right. I've gotten a call from maybe about a dozen military men and women today saying, you got to look into this. You're 100% right. It's
this really grates people. They can't stand it.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. I want to talk about the border because you at Judicial Watch have done such amazing work day in and day out. There's been a big concern about this incident that occurred at the Quantico Marine Base a couple of months ago. Jordanians tried to drive a truck in. They're illegal aliens. You've got some new information about them. Tell us a little bit what you learned about one of the main figures in that case.
Yeah, they were sprung on bail. So you got these Jordanians, and what are they doing with $10,000 cash, right?
Yeah.
And how do these guys walk away, and what prosecutor lets them walk away, and for what reason? Why weren't they turned over to ICE, right? There's all kinds of disconnects with the story, and we're not going to let go of it. We're going to keep pressing. In fact, we had to kind of go back, and there was an attempt at some evasive answering of our initial queries. We're going to continue to press, and we're going to get the real story on this. But you have to ask yourself, number one, why would they be let go in the first place? And number two, what are these two guys driving around in the truck? Where did they come up with the cash to make bail?
Yeah, and where did they get their truck? Yeah.
Absolutely. I want to ask you about something that is still pressing on the minds of Americans. A few days after the assassination attempt on President Trump, Judicial Watch filed a FOIA request for materials and communications pertaining to that, but you effectively got a phrase, talk to the hand. Secret Service doesn't want to deliver anything to you. What do you think it says about what they have and what they're hiding that they won't give up the goods?
Well, going back to the initial response and reaction from Cheadle so from the moment the event occurred to right now, the American public and anybody looking at this, whether it's a member of Congress, journalists like yourselves, a watchdog group like us, or just somebody sitting at home, no one's gotten a straight answer yet, not one. And it's all been, you know, dissembling and double talk, or the FBI is looking into it with little or no accountability. And I guess sort of the consequence of that is that we're getting drip, drip, drip information. And so you see reports from local police agencies like Butler PD and others. You now have Secret Service whistleblowers coming forward and communicating to members of Congress and to the media, pointing out all the shortfalls, all the problems, all the defects systemically, not just in that one incident on that one, late afternoon, early evening, but across the board with the Secret Service. It is a deeply troubled agency. They are right now in a nosedive, and we still have a lot of people that need protecting. and we still have a campaign ongoing. So it's just, it does not give the public, or I guess even the candidates, any assurance that they're even capable of doing their job.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah. I think that's exactly right. You know, people see President Trump out campaigning. He has pledged that he's going to be doing more outdoor rallies. He's going back to Butler, Pennsylvania. And I know that a lot of people are looking to Judicial Watch to find out this information, because you guys have an A+ rating when it comes to digging and finding out. Judicial Watch Director for Investigations and Research, Chris Farrell. It's always a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much.